So this is my third video in this. Today we're doing a review of area and circumference. I will post a blank copy of this along with the video and the worksheet. I think I forgot to do that last time. So anyway, we're going to get started. So the formula for the area of a circle, A equals pi r squared. R represents our radius, obviously. So in this first example, it says a circle has a radius of 4 centimeters. Find its area to the nearest tenth. So our equation, A equals pi r squared. So what we're going to do is take our 4, plug it in for our radius. So then we have area equals pi times 4 squared, which is the same thing as area equals pi times 16. And then pi times 16 is approximately 50.265. We're rounding that to the nearest tenth. So that's 50.3 centimeters squared. Okay. So, did the first example if you wanted to. Now would be a time to pause the video and try the second example, so go ahead and do that. Okay, so second example, very similar to the first. Pi times 7 squared. 7 is our radius. So that's pi times 49. Pi times 49 is approximately 153.938. We're rounding that to the nearest hundredth, so that's 153.94 inches squared. So this third example is a little different. We're given the area this time, and it's asking us to find the radius. So we're still taking the information we're given and plugging it into the formula, just in a different spot. So if we're given the area, which is 314 centimeters squared, we have to plug it in for our A. We're trying to solve for R here, so we want to get R by itself. So we're going to divide by pi. So 314 divided by pi is going to be 99.949304. I recommend going out about 5 or 6 decimal places just to keep it as accurate as possible. If you just put 99 or just round it up to 100, you could get a very different answer, especially the more precise it asks you to round, the more off your answer could be if you're not keeping most of the decimal. So now we have 99.949304 equals r squared, so we're still solving for r, so we want to take the square root. So then we have r equals 9.997. We're rounding that to the nearest whole number, so it's 10 centimeters. So again, if you wanted to pause and try the fourth example on your own, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So again, it's giving us our area, 452 inches squared. It's 452 equals pi r squared. I'm going to divide by pi again. That's going to be about 143.87606. Take the square root of both sides, and that's going to give us 11.9948. And it's asking us to round to the nearest thousandth, so we have to go out 3 decimal places, so that's going to be 11.995 inches. So again, the more precise it asks you to round, the more important it is to keep more decimal places. So now we're moving on to circumference. So circumference, the formula for that is 2 pi r or pi times diameter. You could use either one, does not matter. Whichever one you think is easier, that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to show you both ways. So the first example, a circle has a radius of 5 inches. What is its circumference in terms of pi? So C equals 2 times pi times 5. So remember, multiplication's commutative, so you can rearrange that to 2 times 5 times pi, if that makes it look easier for you. And then we've got 10 pi. And it asks you to keep it in terms of pi, so your answer is C equals 10 pi, and then it's in inches. Honestly, I think circumference is easier than area, but that is just my opinion. So the second example, so a circle has a diameter of 10 meters. What is its circumference to the nearest tenth? So you could find the radius from this example, plug it into 2 pi r, or you can use the diameter that's given. I'll do it both ways. So we have C equals, I'll use the diameter formula first, so that's what we're given, pi times d, so C equals pi times 10. So 10 times pi is 31.415. Asks us to the nearest tenth, so that's going to be 31.4 meters. So then if you wanted to use 2 pi r, you could just take half of 10, because half of the diameter is the radius. So then you would have C equals 2 times pi times 5, which is 10 pi, like the first example, and then when you multiply it out, you get the same thing. So either one you want to do, that's fine. So then, like we had above, sometimes it asks you to find other information. So the circumference of a circle is 75 inches. What is its radius to the nearest whole number? So now we want to find the radius, so we want to use the 2 pi r example. So we're plugging 75 in for our circumference. We have 2 times pi times r, so we want to get the r by itself. There's several ways you could go about this. You could start by dividing by 2 pi, but I would recommend probably starting with doing it one number at a time. So 75 divided by 2 is 37.5 equals pi times r. Next I would divide by pi. And we would get 11.936. Asks us to round to the nearest whole number, so that would be 12 inches. So in this last example, the circumference of a circle is 125 centimeters. What is its diameter? So in this case, we would want to use the diameter formula. So we would have 125 equals pi times d. The only thing you'd have to do here is divide by pi. You would get 39.7887. If you're rounding that to the nearest thousandth, you would get 39.789 centimeters. So that is our review of area and circumference for circles. There will be a short worksheet on this on Classroom. Hopefully this helps.